Most people live their entire lives waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right feeling. But what they don't realize is that nothing changes until they execute. The life you want isn't hiding behind motivation, luck, or someone else's permission. It's waiting on one thing: your decision to take control. This isn't a feel-good message about chasing dreams or hoping for breakthroughs. It's a direct call to action, because you already know what needs to change. You've thought about it. You've talked about it. But now it's time to do something about it. This audiobook isn't about being perfect. It's about getting real. It's about confronting the habits, excuses, and patterns that keep you stuck. It's about replacing blame with responsibility, hesitation with discipline, and wishful thinking with daily action. You don't need another motivational quote. You need a shift, a mindset upgrade that reminds you that your life is yours to build, repair, and lead, whether you're starting over, climbing out of a rut, or ready to finally close the gap between who you are and who you could be. This is your moment, not next Monday. Not January 1 st. Now. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Own your life. The change starts now. Your life won't improve until you decide to improve it. That's the shift in mindset most people never make. They wait for perfect timing. They blame others. They delay. But the truth remains, nothing changes until you do. Success doesn't start on Monday. It doesn't wait for motivation or inspiration. It begins the moment you stop wasting potential and start being honest with yourself. This isn't about chasing perfection, it's about getting serious, making a clear decision. You're done making excuses. If you're stuck in the same routine, talking about goals that never come to life, feeling like you're spinning in circles, it's time to take a hard look in the mirror. Your growth, your improvement, your results, they begin the moment you accept full responsibility for your life. That's what this audiobook is about, learning how to become your best self by doing, not just dreaming. Most people don't need more motivation. They need clarity. They need a clear decision to take the lead in their own life. The first step, total ownership. Success doesn't come from your job, your family, or the system. It comes from you. That's the first unshakable truth. If your life isn't where you want it to be, don't look outward, look inward. Change begins when you stop pointing fingers and start taking full ownership. Most people never do this. They wait for their environment to change. They want the world to improve before they improve. But real change always starts from within. Taking responsibility is tough. It takes courage to admit you've been holding yourself back. It takes humility to say you haven't been giving your best. But if you want different outcomes, you need to live in a different way. Every time you delay ownership, you delay progress. People spend years stuck in this trap, blaming time, money, people, the system. Blame feels good because it removes pressure. But that false comfort is what kills your progress. The truth: if you got yourself into this situation, you can get yourself out. That's not failure, it's empowerment. It means you don't have to wait anymore. You can rebuild your habits. Repair your finances. Prioritize your health. Change your mindset. There's no perfect moment coming. The right time is whenever you decide to begin. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a result of starting. Confidence is built through action. Clarity is gained through movement. Get real. How are you truly living? Ask yourself, how are you truly living? Not what you show online, not what you tell your friends. What's real? How are you spending your days? What do your habits say about your values? What energy are you bringing into your home, your job, your relationships? If the answers aren't good, don't hide. Don't numb the truth with distractions. Face it. That honesty is your turning point. Don't be ashamed of where you are, just don't stay there. The only thing between where you are and where you want to be is consistent, intentional action. That's it. Not luck. Not talent. Not secrets. The first step is ownership. The second is action. No one's coming, and that's the good news. Waiting for someone to fix your life is a trap. No one's coming to rescue you, and that's actually your greatest advantage. It means the power has always been in your hands. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. What you need is discipline, and discipline isn't a feeling, it's a decision. If your time is being wasted, take it back. If your energy is being drained, protect it. If your dreams are being postponed, make them a priority. Stop waiting for someone to give you a push. Push yourself. Growth is painful. Responsibility is heavy. But they're worth it. You don't evolve through comfort, you grow through challenge. And the truth is, nobody else can do this for you. You know what's been holding you back. You know what you've been avoiding. And only you can change it. Taking control isn't about guilt. It's about power. It's about saying, from now on, I lead my life. Small steps, big change. Start small. Set one new habit. Wake up earlier. Remove distractions. Track your effort. Build momentum. Raise your standards, even when no one's watching. The more you show up for yourself, the more you'll begin to respect yourself. And when self-respect rises, your decisions improve. You stop quitting. You stop complaining. You start completing what you start. That's the real reward, not just results, but identity change. You become someone who follows through. Someone who acts. Someone who leads. And the best part? You don't need anyone's permission to do it. The bottom line, your life doesn't change when your situation changes, it changes when you do. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Take a breath. Face the mirror. And remember, success starts with you. No one else can do it for you. And no one else can stop you either. Chapter 2, Action First, Everything Else Later. Success isn't based on luck. It's built through consistent, intentional, and often uncomfortable effort. It's not about waiting for the perfect opportunity or the perfect mindset, it's about taking action before you feel completely ready. You don't need a crowd cheering you on. You don't need anyone's approval or belief in you before you begin. You start before the support comes. You start before the confidence shows up. Because confidence isn't a prerequisite, it's a result. It grows when you do the thing you've been avoiding. It builds when you show up scared but do the work anyway. People say they're waiting for the right time. But there is no perfect time. Life doesn't slow down so you can catch up. It doesn't press pause until you're ready. If you keep hesitating, life will keep moving without you, and next year, you'll still be stuck in the same place, wishing you'd started today. Deep down, you know you're capable of more. You feel it. But feeling it isn't enough. You have to back it up with action. You have to prove it with what you choose to do right now. It's easy to talk about change. It's easy to make plans, to set goals, to say, I'll start Monday. But the real test? Showing up today, tired, overwhelmed, scared, or unsure, and still doing the work. Life doesn't reward intentions. It rewards execution. So stop waiting. Clean up your environment. Refine your schedule. Drop the excuses. Put down the distractions. Stop convincing yourself that you'll change when things calm down. That's just a delay tactic. Things won't magically become easier, you have to start moving through the mess now. Even if it's slow. Even if it's imperfect. Even if it's a struggle. Progress doesn't begin with motivation, it begins with movement. You don't get motivation. You earn it. You create momentum by doing the small things daily, even when nobody's watching, even when it's boring, even when quitting would be easier. Real strength is built in private. It's built in the quiet moments when you keep your promises to yourself, even though no one would know if you broke them. That's where your character is shaped. That's where your confidence is forged. The people who move forward in life don't have more hours in the day. They just manage their time with more discipline. They don't rely on talent, they rely on consistency. They don't always feel like working, they've just taught themselves to act regardless of how they feel. They understand that the pain of staying the same is far worse than the discomfort of growth. If you want a different life, you must make different decisions. If something is broken, fix it. If something drains you, cut it out. If you're off course, redirect yourself. If you've fallen short, own it, forgive yourself, and get back up. Progress starts with honesty, not perfection. Quit overthinking. Quit complaining. Quit blaming. None of those things will take you forward. Action will. When you begin doing what you've been avoiding, everything changes. Your thinking sharpens. Your energy returns. Your self-respect grows. And once you get a taste of progress, you'll crave it. You won't want to go backward. You won't need someone to motivate you, you'll push yourself, because you've seen what you're capable of. That's the goal, to become the kind of person who doesn't wait to be told what to do. Who doesn't depend on pressure from others. Who wakes up and takes ownership, every day, without being asked. That's real power. That's what maturity looks like. So ask yourself, what's the one thing you've been avoiding that needs to be handled? It starts the moment you face what's uncomfortable and choose to deal with it. And yes, it will be hard. You'll be tired. Some days, you'll want to quit. But you won't, because now you understand, nothing changes until you do. Success doesn't belong to those who wait, it belongs to those who work. You don't need perfect conditions. You need to take full ownership of your time, your energy, your choices, and your results. When you do that, everything begins to shift. You stop feeling stuck. You stop waiting for luck. You start building a life that reflects who you're meant to be, not who you've settled to be. And never forget, no one can take this from you. No one can stop you. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. You have the same ability to restart, to rebuild, to rise. But none of it matters unless you act like it matters. This is your life. This is your shot. There won't be another version of it. So stop waiting. Stop avoiding. Stand up. Take control. Do the work. That's how you go from average to exceptional. That's how you become your best self. That's how real success begins, not with words, but with action. Chapter 3: Improve your habits before they take over. If your life feels off balance, chances are it's not because of one massive misstep, it's the tiny decisions made on autopilot, day after day, that quietly shape your outcomes. These small actions, repeated consistently, build the foundation of your life. And if you're not actively choosing them, they're still shaping your future, just not in your favor. Your habits are the invisible systems driving your life. Whether you're aware of them or not, they are sculpting your reality. Left unchecked, they will slowly begin to dominate your time, your focus, and your future. That's why tidying up your habits isn't just a productivity hack, it's survival. Either you take control of your behavior, or your behavior will take control of you. Most people don't recognize how deeply they're living on autopilot. They wake up, grab their phones, scroll for half an hour, delay the hard stuff, skip the uncomfortable choices, and say, "I'll do better tomorrow." But tomorrow turns into next week turns into next month, and eventually, life feels like it's slipping out of your hands. It's not that life is unfair, it's that your daily systems are built for convenience, not growth. You can't build a new life with the same old habits that contributed to the mess. It doesn't matter how big your goals are, if your daily actions don't align with that vision, then all you're doing is wishing. Real transformation begins with honest self-reflection, not lofty intentions. Take a hard look at what you're actually doing, not what you intend to do, but your real patterns. What time do you wake up? What's the first thing you consume? Information, food, noise. How do you spend your last hour before bed? What are you saying yes to when your gut knows it should be a no? You need to evaluate it all, with clarity and without shame. Habits don't care about your feelings, they care about repetition. Bad habits are seductive because they offer quick relief with no upfront cost. But over time, they drain you. They rob you of momentum. And the longer you let them linger, the harder they are to break. Don't wait for rock bottom. Don't wait until you're burned out. You don't need a catastrophe to make a change, you just need to decide that your current level of living isn't good enough anymore. When that decision is made, act on it immediately. Don't overanalyze. Replace time-wasting behaviors with productive ones. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Change is built one step at a time, one choice at a time. Start with the basics, go to bed at a consistent hour. Stop snoozing your alarm. Make your bed. Drink more water. Move your body daily. Read something meaningful. Stay off your phone first thing in the morning. Clear out your space. Track your progress. These habits may sound small, but small doesn't mean easy. That's why so many ignore them, because the benefits are delayed and the effort is unglamorous. But real change isn't flashy. It's quiet, steady, and often unnoticed. It shows up in your ability to do what's right even when no one's watching. And yes, your old routines will try to pull you back. Your brain will come up with excuses. Your body will crave ease. But you must rise above the pull of your past. You're either reinforcing your strongest self or repeating your weakest patterns. You can't keep both. You have to choose. Waiting for motivation is a trap. Motivation is unreliable, it comes and goes like the weather. What you need is a structure, a system that supports the person you're becoming. Make it hard to slip. Set up your environment so it guides you forward. If social media distracts you, remove the apps. If you skip workouts, lay out your clothes the night before. If you forget your goals, write them down and place them where you'll see them every morning. This is what personal evolution looks like, not just mental breakthroughs, but physical adjustments. It's about building a life that makes success easier, not harder. Stop saying, "This is just who I am." That's not identity, that's repetition. And repetition can be rewritten. You've already got the potential. But potential means nothing without execution. What's it costing you to keep your current habits? Lost time. Low energy. Diminished confidence. Unused talent. That price is far too high. And if you don't make the change, you'll wake up one day and realize you've lived beneath your potential for years. So stop the cycle. Break the loop. Don't let another week slip by under the weight of habits that hold you back. You're not stuck, you're just unstructured. Take back your time. Get intentional. Set routines that uplift you, not drain you. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being better, day by day. Every habit you upgrade is a vote for the future you want. It's a declaration that your life matters. That your goals matter. That you matter. So take that first step. Build the systems. Create the structure. Reinforce your discipline. Because if you don't shape your habits, they'll shape you. And they won't ask for permission. Chapter 4. Choose growth when comfort calls you back. Most people don't evolve, not because they lack ambition, but because comfort is just too convenient. It's familiar, predictable, and offers quick relief. But comfort doesn't build resilience. It doesn't unlock your strength. It keeps you stagnant while convincing you that you're safe. And while comfort might ease your stress temporarily, it never leads to real progress. Every day you're presented with a decision: take the route that stretches you or the one that keeps you stuck. Most of the time, growth hides behind the option you don't feel like choosing: the early wake-up, the honest conversation, the disciplined routine. It's not appealing. It doesn't feel good. But that's what makes it transformative. Growth isn't supposed to feel easy at the start. That's why it's powerful. It challenges you. It pushes you out of your default mode. It forces you to give more than you're used to. But if you always go with what's easy, you'll never discover your real potential. You'll stay caught in the same habits, frustrated that nothing's changing, wondering why your life feels like it's on repeat. The truth? Life doesn't change until you do. You have to crave progress more than you crave relief. That's difficult because comfort is always whispering in your ear. Take a break, it says. Try again tomorrow, it tempts. Now isn't the right time. But growth doesn't wait for the right time. Growth responds to action, not emotion. Those who grow are not the ones who wait for inspiration. They are the ones who move forward despite feeling resistance. They keep going when it's tedious. They stay focused when there's no applause. They commit even when the excitement fades. A better life isn't built accidentally, it's crafted through intentional, repeated, often uncomfortable decisions. That means choosing discipline over indulgence. That means doing what your future self will thank you for, even when your current self begs you to avoid it. It means waking up early even if you're tired. Speaking truth even when it's awkward. Pushing forward when retreat feels tempting. Growth happens when you challenge your own limits. Comfort is deceptive. It feels good right now but robs you of what's possible. It delays your goals. It clouds your focus. It buries your ambition. The longer you stay in your comfort zone, the more it becomes a prison. That's why you must rewire yourself to lean into discomfort, not occasionally, but daily. Make it a pattern. Make it part of who you are. Start choosing what develops you, not what soothes you. Comfort doesn't build mental strength. It doesn't teach discipline. It doesn't change your trajectory. Growth does. Growth forces you to sharpen your thinking, confront your weaknesses, and build habits that matter. Avoiding growth means avoiding transformation. You keep living the same day with different excuses. On the outside, everything might look fine. But deep down, you'll feel unfulfilled because you know, you've stopped striving. And that's where regret is born. Not from failure, but from knowing you held back. Choosing growth means accepting the challenge. It means setting higher standards, saying no to energy-wasting distractions, and doing the hard things, without instant results. Most importantly, it means checking in with yourself. Are you truly pushing your boundaries, or just staying busy? Are you progressing or procrastinating? You already know what needs to change. You know the habits you've avoided breaking. The choices you've been postponing. Comfort has made it easy to delay, to pretend that you're fine with how things are. But if you're not growing, you're shrinking. There's no standing still, time is moving, and life is moving with it. So what does growth look like today? Maybe it's finally starting that difficult conversation. Maybe it's committing to your health for real. Maybe it's showing up for your goals even when motivation is nowhere to be found. Maybe it's reducing distractions and doing more than you talk. It's different for everyone, but the feeling is always the same: discomfort, pressure, and progress. You don't need to fix everything overnight. But you do need to stop doing nothing. Pick one thing. Focus there. Push a little further than you did yesterday. Stay with it. Don't chase shortcuts. Don't expect fireworks. Stick to the process. The transformation you want doesn't come from what you do occasionally, it's what you repeat, relentlessly. Yes, some days will be exhausting. Yes, your mind will beg you to take the easy path. But remember, ease offers comfort, not change. Growth is challenging, but it leads to confidence, clarity, and freedom. The pain is temporary. The result is lasting. When you grow, you wake up differently. You walk with purpose. You respect yourself more. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. That's what makes discomfort worth it. That's what makes it all meaningful. And the more you choose growth, the more it becomes your natural response. You stop escaping. You start engaging. If you want a life that makes you proud, you can't keep choosing what's easy. You have to rise above it. This is your moment, not someday, not next week. Today. Step up. Choose the difficult path. Do what challenges you. Do what transforms you. Because comfort will never change your life. But growth will. Choose it. Live it. Become it. Chapter 5, Be Your Own Standard. The real measure of personal growth isn't what you do when people are watching, it's what you do when no one is. When there's no applause, no feedback, no one checking up on you, your true habits, discipline, and mindset are revealed. It's easy to look motivated in front of others. It's easy to say the right things when you know eyes are on you. But who are you when it's just you? That's where accountability becomes real. If you only work hard when there's pressure, you'll stay stuck. If you only give your best when someone's watching, you'll never become the person you claim to be. Growth starts with holding yourself to a higher standard, especially when no one else is paying attention. Waiting for someone else to push you is a losing game. No mentor, coach, or friend can build your discipline for you. That's your job. Your life, your habits, your effort, they're your responsibility. If you want change, prove it. Not with words. With action. Show up for yourself, especially in the quiet, unnoticed moments. Accountability isn't about being flawless, it's about being real with yourself. Did you keep the promise you made? Did you give your best effort, even when it was hard? Did you follow through, not just once, but consistently? These are the questions that build self-respect. When you hold yourself to that kind of honesty, everything starts to shift. You stop lying to yourself. You stop justifying laziness. You stop lowering your expectations to match your comfort. Instead, you start raising your standards and following through, because it matters to you. That's where real confidence comes from, not external praise, but from knowing you can rely on yourself. You don't need constant motivation. You don't need anyone to tell you what to do. You become someone who leads from within. The reason many people feel stuck is because they only perform when it's convenient. But growth demands more. It asks you to keep going when there's no immediate payoff. It asks you to stick to your habits when no one else sees the effort. Want to feel powerful? Start keeping your word to yourself. Not to impress others, but because you've chosen to live with purpose. Start noticing where you're slacking. Where are you making promises and not following through? Identify it. Adjust. No drama, just honest effort. The bar you set when you're alone becomes the bar for your life. Don't lower it just because no one else sees. Push through even when you feel tired. Stay focused even when it's easier to quit. That's how discipline is forged. That's how self-respect grows. You don't need to talk about your progress. You don't need to prove anything to the world. Let your consistency speak. Let your results do the talking. Because the strength you build in silence becomes unshakable. The person you become in the dark is the one who shines when the time comes. And that's the kind of strength that changes your life, for good. Chapter 6, Live as your future self now. You don't become the best version of yourself by waiting around. You don't stumble into greatness, you grow into it by living as that person now. Too many people envision a future self, more disciplined, more confident, more focused. They say they'll become that version one day. But that day never arrives unless they choose to act like that version today. This isn't about pretending. It's not about putting on a mask. It's about aligning your current actions with your future identity. If you want to grow, you must consistently behave like the person you aspire to be, even when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or lonely. You already know what that elevated version of yourself looks like. They keep their promises. They handle pressure. They move with purpose. But if your daily behavior still mirrors the version of you who procrastinates, makes excuses, or avoids discomfort, then you'll stay stuck. No amount of wishing will change that. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. You can't overthink your way into transformation, you have to act your way there. That means stepping up before you feel ready. That means showing up when your motivation is low. It means behaving like someone who respects themselves and what they're building. Ask yourself, how would the future me show up today? What time would they wake up? How would they respond to stress? What choices would they make with their time, their energy, their words? And then do that. You don't need permission to start. You don't need a sign. You just need a decision to live in alignment with your potential, not your limitations. If the future version of you values health, start eating and moving like they would. If they value discipline, stop negotiating with your old excuses. If they are confident and proactive, begin carrying yourself with that posture, today. Growth isn't about pretending to be perfect. It's about consistently choosing behaviors that match your goals. Each small action, each intentional decision, creates a shift. Those shifts compound. That's how transformation happens, not in some dramatic moment, but in your daily routines, your tiny choices, your quiet self-respect. You may not feel ready. That's normal. But the point isn't to feel ready, it's to act with purpose. Progress is built on discipline, not on waiting for the right mood. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're one bold choice away from changing everything. When you begin to live like the person you're aiming to become, you don't just build new habits, you build belief. You earn trust with yourself. You start to see yourself differently, and so does the world. This is your turning point. Stop measuring your days by comfort. Start measuring them by alignment. Are you acting like the person you want to be? If not, what can you change, right now? Make the decision. Show up like it matters. Because it does. This is your life. Lead it like the person you're becoming, not someday, but now. Chapter 7, No More Excuses, Choose Movement Over Stagnation. Progress is a choice, not a coincidence. You're either moving forward or you're standing still, there's no neutral zone. And for most people, the reason they stay stuck isn't because they lack talent or potential. It's because they keep clinging to excuses that sound reasonable but quietly sabotage any chance of real growth. Excuses are deceptive. They show up as protection: I'm too busy, I'm too tired, I'll start when things settle down, but all they really do is delay your life. They let you avoid effort while feeling justified. But here's the truth, your dreams don't care how valid your reasons sound. Only action creates momentum. Only movement builds change. Each time you give power to an excuse, you give up control over your future. You shift responsibility to something outside of you, your schedule, your energy, your circumstances. And when you live reactively like that, you're not steering your life, you're drifting through it. If you want real change, you have to stop making excuses and start making moves. Not next month. Not when life calms down. Now. Yes, excuses feel safe. If you never fully commit, you never fully fail. But that mindset traps you. It protects a version of yourself that's afraid to grow. You hesitate, not because you can't do the work, but because you're scared it might not go perfectly. But perfection isn't the goal, progress is. And the worst kind of failure isn't trying and missing, it's never starting at all. You don't need ideal conditions to begin. You need commitment. Start where you are, with what you've got. Tidy one part of your life. Stick to one small habit. Make one bold decision today. It's not about doing everything, it's about doing something real. Action builds clarity. Once you take that first step, your perspective changes. Instead of obsessing over obstacles, you start noticing possibilities. You stop looking for perfect timing and start focusing on what's within reach. And that shift is everything. Be honest with yourself. What excuse do you keep recycling? What comfort zone are you clinging to? What lie have you told yourself so often that it feels like truth? Then let it go. You don't need another week to think. You need to act like it matters today. Because the longer you justify your inaction, the heavier those excuses get. They don't just delay progress, they shape your identity. Before long, you forget how capable you are, not because you lack ability, but because you stop testing it. Your habits reflect your true priorities. If you say you want to grow, but your actions suggest otherwise, something needs to change. You can't build a new life while living like the old version of yourself. So no more, I'll do it later. No more, I'm waiting for motivation. That mindset kills more potential than failure ever could. Be the person who shows up anyway, who takes the step even when it's uncomfortable. Growth lives in discomfort. Your next level is hiding in the places you've been avoiding. You don't need all the answers. You just need one clear action and the guts to take it. Be patient with the outcome, but be ruthless with the effort. Progress isn't passive. It's earned, one step, one choice, one moment of courage at a time. From this moment forward, no more excuses. Chapter 8, Master your time or lose it forever. Time is the one resource you can never get back. You can recover lost money, rebuild broken relationships, or wait for new opportunities, but once a moment is gone, it's gone for good. That's why how you use your time speaks louder than your intentions, your goals, or your motivation. You can't claim to want a better life while spending your days lost in distractions. You can't say you're chasing growth while giving your hours to habits that don't serve you. The truth is simple, your life is made up of how you spend your minutes. Most people don't run out of time, they waste it. Not in dramatic ways, but in small daily decisions that slowly steal their potential. 10 minutes of scrolling here. 30 minutes of gossip there. Mindlessly clicking, passively watching, procrastinating just a little. And suddenly, 6 months pass. You look up and realize you're in the same place, wondering how it happened. That's why it's critical to start using your time with purpose. Not by filling every second with work, but by becoming intentional. Know what matters, and cut out what doesn't. Discipline your distractions. Build structure into your day. You don't need a rigid plan, you need clarity and consistency. No one is going to manage your time for you. That's your job. If you don't take control, something else will. Comfort, laziness, fear, they'll all take your time and leave you empty-handed. You have to ask yourself honestly, are you running your day, or is your day running you? Everyone gets the same 24 hours. What separates progress from stagnation is how much of that time is spent building something meaningful. You already know where you're losing time. You know what pulls you away from purpose. Changing it doesn't require perfection, just better decisions, repeated daily. Start with a plan. Block out time for what matters, your goals, your health, your personal growth. Protect those blocks like they're sacred. Don't drift into your day and hope for the best. Lead your time with intention. Focused effort, even in small doses, builds momentum far faster than random busyness. The first hour of your day sets the tone. Use it with focus, and your mind will stay sharp. Waste it, and the rest of the day slips away. The same goes for the last hour. Reflect, reset, and prepare. It's not about cramming your schedule, it's about steering it with purpose. Stop pretending you have endless time to waste. You don't. Every hour spent on what doesn't matter is an hour taken from what does. That's not just inefficiency, it's self-sabotage. You don't owe your time to every notification, every request, every distraction. You have a right to say no. You have a right to focus. Yes, rest matters. But rest is only powerful when it's intentional. There's a difference between recovery and avoidance. One recharges you. The other robs you. Know the difference. Look at your screen time. Look at where your hours go. Now imagine redirecting just half of that time toward your goals. Toward learning, building, improving. You already have enough time. You just need to use it differently. This is the shift. Stop letting time slip through your fingers. Start leading it. Don't wait for the perfect week, the less busy season, the next wave of motivation. Start today. 1 hour at a time. One focused task at a time. One decision to stop wasting and start using your time like your life depends on it. Because it does. Chapter 9, Face What's Holding You Back. Real change doesn't begin with more effort. It begins with more honesty. If you truly want to grow, you have to stop running from the truth and start facing it head on, right now, not when it's convenient. Most people say they want to improve, but they spend their energy avoiding the uncomfortable reality of what's holding them back. They stay busy, they stay distracted, they blame stress, people, or circumstances. They chase new systems, new tools, new routines. But none of it matters if you're not willing to admit the real problem. You might be standing in your own way. Honesty isn't about beating yourself up. It's not about shame or self-blame. It's about confronting what's real, so you can finally do something about it. Maybe you've been playing small to avoid failure. Maybe you've been choosing comfort over growth. Maybe you've been telling yourself you're doing your best, when you know deep down, you could be showing up better. That truth might sting. But it's also where transformation starts. You've felt it before. You've noticed the results you're not getting. You've heard your own excuses. You know the patterns that keep repeating. And the longer you avoid them, the more power they gain over you. You can't move forward if you're still anchored to the same behaviors, the same fears, the same self-protection strategies. Sometimes the roadblock is pride. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's a lack of discipline disguised as being too busy. Whatever it is, it's yours to face, and no one else can do it for you. The strongest people aren't the ones who have no weaknesses. They're the ones who face those weaknesses head-on and use the truth to grow. They're not afraid to admit what's broken. They use that clarity to build something better. You won't grow if you keep lying to yourself. You won't evolve if you keep pretending your habits aren't the issue. Blaming your past, your job, or your schedule might feel easier, but it also keeps you stuck. Growth starts with asking a hard question: what part of this is on me? You don't need all the answers right now. You just need to stop hiding from the ones you already know. Maybe you've been distracting yourself. Maybe you've confused activity with progress. Maybe you've been saying, "I'm trying," when really, you're avoiding commitment. That's not weakness. That's human. But it's also not an excuse to stay stuck. Being honest means admitting that not everything in your life is helping you anymore. Some habits, relationships, or mindsets may have served a past version of you, but they don't fit who you're becoming. Change means outgrowing them. That takes courage. That takes truth. You don't need a new plan. You need a new level of self-respect, the kind that comes from telling yourself the truth and deciding you're done settling. That's when progress starts to appear. Not because you did more, but because you finally started doing what actually matters. Clarity beats hustle. Always. So ask yourself, what have I been pretending not to see? Face it. Name it. Do something about it. Growth begins where denial ends. That's the real starting line. Not later. Now. Chapter 10, Prove It Through Action. Change doesn't start when you talk about it. It doesn't start when you write it in your journal or dream about it late at night. Real change begins the moment you act, and continues every time you act again, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching. It's easy to get caught up in planning, hoping, or waiting for the right time. But the right time is always now. Change is not a future event, it's a present decision. You don't prove change with words, you prove it with effort. With choices. With follow-through. Every single time you choose discipline over delay, consistency over comfort, and effort over excuses, you become someone new. You don't need a better background. You need better behavior. You don't need more time. You need to better use the time you already have. Waiting for perfect circumstances is how people stay stuck. Progress begins when you stop waiting and start moving. Action is the proof. Without it, everything else is noise, ideas, intentions, and dreams that stay trapped in your head. The people who transform their lives aren't the ones with flawless plans or unlimited resources. They're the ones who act. Daily. Relentlessly. Quietly. They don't need applause. They don't wait for motivation. They create momentum through action. This isn't about motivation. It's about identity. Every action you take casts a vote for the kind of person you want to be. When your actions match your words, you start to trust yourself. You stop relying on hype and start building real confidence, because now your results are rooted in behavior, not just belief. You build a new life one decision at a time. It's waking up early because you said you would. It's finishing that task instead of scrolling your phone. It's pushing through when it's uncomfortable. These small wins compound. They shape a new normal. You don't need to flip your whole life overnight. You just need to start showing up differently. Stack one good decision on top of another. Get clear on what matters. Cut out the distractions. Follow through, especially when it's hard and no one would blame you for quitting. That's where growth lives. Change doesn't demand perfection. You'll stumble. You'll miss a day. That's not failure, it's feedback. What matters is that you keep coming back. You reset. You recommit. You stay in the fight. That's what builds strength. The only difference between who you are now and who you want to be isn't talent, it's behavior. And behavior is yours to change. Not next week. Not when it's easier. Now. Start acting like the person you claim you want to become. Speak your goals less and live them more. Don't hope for results, earn them. Be the one who sets the tone. Be the one who follows through. Let your actions prove what your words used to promise. Because change doesn't live in theory. It lives in motion. And that motion starts with you.